Let's see. So we are recording. All right. Hello and welcome. Welcome, everybody. Today, I am so happy to be here with you today. Okay. Hello and welcome. So I am so happy to have each and every one of you here with me today. And I want to say happy Tuesday. And I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And I hope your week is going great so far. And so today we are up close and personal with our very special guest, Miss JoAnn Britton. And Miss Britton was a private client of mine for about 6 months. And while in the middle of a pandemic, I might add, and I am super excited to have her with me today. We are reconnecting and we are also playing catch up. And so I thank you, Ms. Britton, for taking the time out of your schedule to share your personal testimony, your journey, and how things are going for you as we speak. All right, and so now I am, for many of our listeners, can relate to this particular topic, okay? And so today's topic is how JoAnn finally lost 27.5 pounds despite spending thousands of dollars on various diet programs. So I know that is very, very relatable to our audience, and simply just replace JoAnn with your name, and many of us can relate. And we are, we've tried diet after diet, looking for that magic bullet, looking for that magic bullet that will yield the results that we are looking for. And trust me, you are not alone when it comes down to, trying to find the latest and the greatest and staying on the latest and the greatest fad diets. I mean, it is very, 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 very common. And so to our listeners, I want to say that feel free to post questions, post comments, post anything that you would like. And I will monitor the thread and I will respond and answer any questions. And if I'm not able to answer any specific question that may be specific to Miss JoAnn, then I will follow up with her and I will get the answer to you, okay? And so let me share a little bit about how we connected. So Miss JoAnn and we connected actually through her husband. He did a Google search looking for a dietitian for the both of them. And he scheduled a phone consultation. And he was, and during that phone consultation, we were talking, but then he was like, I really want my wife to start this and I want her to do this first. And so he enrolled with his wife into my 12-week program, and he was supportive and he supported her every step of the way. And the blessing is that later on down the line, he eventually enrolled as well. And so now they are both on their A game with eating, disease management, weight, and they are just enjoying life. And believe it or not, they are both retired and they are just doing their thing. So I always said, when I grow up, they are my role model for sure. And so when Miss Britton and I connected, she was just over the diet program. She spent thousands of dollars over the years just to gain all the weight back. So very relatable, right? And yep. She reached a point where she wanted life without a diet. She craved a lifestyle change, and she wanted to learn, how to eat healthier, how to enjoy foods without craving all the time. And she just wanted to lose the weight, but more importantly, she wanted to keep it off, okay? And I'm gonna let her speak more about that a little bit later, but now she is more thoughtful about her food choices, both at home, eating out, and she no longer eats just because she sees the food there, okay? Another relatable situation. We just eat because it's there. We might not have been hungry, but we see it there and we want it. And today we're gonna talk more about, who she is, her weight loss journey, her history with the dieting programs, our experience together, and that journey of maintaining it, because she lost the weight, so, but she has kept it off, she has kept it off. And so we've been through a pandemic, we've been through some holidays, we've been through some birthdays, and she is holding strong. So I'm very, very proud of her. And so I'm going to give the floor to Ms. Britton. And I wanted to begin by asking if you can share with our viewers, what's your line of work and what do you do for a living?
Okay, retired from the little bit after 36 years in 2005, and then I started a variety of volunteer opportunities. I started with the place that I am now in 2011 as a volunteer. And then later they asked me if I'd come on staff. And I said, if I'll do it for free, surely I'll do it if you pay me. I work at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission thrift store in the boutique area. And excuse me. And I'm on my feet 3 days a week, 5 hours a day, 30-minute lunch. And I go up and down 21 steps several times a day because that's where the bathroom is. I have to restock the supplies. And so you're tired by the time you finish there. But I enjoy the work so much and the communication with the people that it's not a job at all. And I look forward to doing it every day. Now, I have a thing about cooking. I enjoy eating. But I enjoy making desserts and things. That's one of my favorite things to do. And for the first 40 years of my life, that was just fine. But after that, it seems like off like they used to. And so the potatoes and the breads and the cakes and the cheese and the pies, they were starting to cause problems, and the pounds just kept itching up. So the diets began. So Nutrisystem was the first major diet plan that I tried. The others, like the cabbage diet and all of these other things that you could do yourself, and even Slim Fast. But the first one that required a lot of money was the Nutrisystem. And that's about, $275 a month, depending on the program. And that was mine. Mm-hmm. And so I did that for about 6 months. And it was just wonderful. The weight was coming off quick and fast. And that was just lovely. But I didn't learn anything. I had the prepackaged meals, and that was great and that was convenient. But I also had the regular grocery shopping because my husband wasn't on it. So I'm cooking for him and then eating the prepackaged stuff. So it tasted all right, but it got the weight off. And so I was thrilled. Mm-hmm. Well, less than 6 months, it was back. And I struggled with all the other little cheapy diets and depriving and all kinds of strange exercises and all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. It just didn't go away. So I eventually went on to what's called LA weight loss, mm-hmm. which is very similar to the Nutrisystem. And again, about the $270, $80 a month for 6 months. And again, the prepackaged foods. And again, the weight comes back within months because, of course, you're not eating those. And I'm not understanding the portion side of it because, of course, it's packaged so that you only eat this much. And they give you stuff to help with the cravings. But then I don't have that anymore, and I don't have the measurement things anymore. And so I'm on my own, and I'm back to my old way of doing things. And so I'm about fed up. And my husband, of course, is very supportive, and he recognized the struggle that I have, and that I had just thrown in a towel here because I didn't know what in the world else to do. Mm-hmm. And that's when he started looking on Google, trying to find maybe somebody to help us to learn how to eat, but it was for me. And he just said it was for him. So I would not be upset with him. And so he's just real kind like that. But after spending those over $4,000 in those diets, I could not. The thought of spending that again and just to turn around and have the same problem was just not something that I was looking forward to. Again, like Sandra said, I saw, not because I was hungry. I couldn't really remember a time that I was hungry. But I still ate. And still the pounds kept piling on. And then I ate fast. I have 5 other sisters and brothers, and you either eat it or it's gone. So that habit has stayed with me. And so you eat, you go ahead and you're serious and you get it done so that you will have it. I had gotten to a point where I needed to take naps just about every day because I had other things I had to do. So in order to make it to the end of the day to get those things done, I'd take the little nap, maybe an hour, maybe 2, and then get up and work until like 12 o'clock at night in order to be able to get everything fitted in for that particular day. But I mean, you just do what you have to do. And I did. My knees started giving me problems because the weight. And so doing steps, doing certain exercises, you know, it just really started to limit me. And I wanted to have something to help me, but I didn't know what it was. And so after my husband spoke with Sandra and he explained to me what it is that they discussed, self, when she explained that the first thing that she said was, what do you like to eat? And I told her the potatoes, the cheese, you know, the pies, the cakes, and the breads. And she said, well, we can work with that. I said, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Because I don't do well when you deprive me and you tell me I have to sit and eat cottage cheese all day. I don't do that. I will eat more of all the wrong things when you start restricting me, and I don't do that well. So
absolutely.
That's just me.
Yeah. You touched on a lot of points there. I mean, and you're right. If you pull something away too fast, cold turkey, you may do it for a couple of weeks, but it will not last. And when it will hit you with a vengeance, and you will lose your mind. But thank you for sharing all that about the different diets and the process, because it is still real. It's just right now they have different names. You know, you got all the other, they just recycle them under different names, and they may change the 2 little parts of the program, but the results are the same. It's not teaching you how to eat. It's not showing you that you can still have your pies and you can still have your potatoes, and that's really what we're trying to get at. Tell us a little bit about your health history. Like, tell us about your health history and how that tied into you really, you know, wanting to lose the weight and getting a handle on your eating.
I have a family history of heart disease and cancer. And that was one of the things continually on my mind as far as trying to have some kind of control over the weight, because I know that leads to all of those things. And so as I'm getting older, it's coming close to the time I'm going to have to pay for all these pounds. And the damage to my heart, the damage as far as cancer and other diseases, it's going to come due. And so I had to find some kind of way to get some control and have a lifestyle change. And that's what I found with this eating program with Sandra. And it's a way of life. It's not a diet. So when people ask me what diet that I'm on, I said, I'm not on a diet. I just changed the way I think about food. I got a new relationship now. So I've been taught about the portions and how I can go out and actually eat real food and not sit and eat salads all day long. I love salads, but I don't want to eat them all the time. But I can eat the potatoes. I can eat the steak. I mean, I know that certain cuts of steak has fewer calories than fish. And so I will make that choice.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I know good fats, so I will do an occasional salmon, but I know the portions of the
Yeah,
salmon. And I know that even if I get a larger part, I will ask them to bring me a to-go container, and
good.
I will put that portion
Uh-huh.
in there before I get started, because I will gobble it all up. I
Yes,
told you I can see things, and
yes.
so
The
so
model client. She's doing it. She's doing it. And we had great, you talk about years of dieting, years of doing things. And so we had to work to get her to the point of, yes, you're allowed to have this. Yes, you can
Mhm.
have that, versus this is not a diet. She's like, yeah, the diet's working really good. I'm like, no, no, this is not a diet.
Not
We kind of
diet.
have to
Nope.
change the
Yep.
terminology. And
Yep.
that's great in doing those little tips, because not all of us are strong enough to push half of our food to the side on the plate and then only eat the other half. So I tell people, no,
Mm.
get that to go plate first, and
But
then
yeah.
because they like to give it to you last. They do that all the
Yeah.
time.
I know. I know. So nope. I've learned uh, how I am, and I have to work with me accordingly.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really loved about this eating, I mean, eating the same foods generally that I have, or either finding lower calorie of the
Mhm.
same kinds of food, like my cheeses. There are 45 calorie slices of cheese out there. I still get my cheese, but I don't get all the fat with
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
So I can eat the stuff that I like. I just change the way that I prepare it, or either I get lesser calories of it. And Sara Lee 45-calorie bread is my friend,
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
I can have 2 pieces and it only counts as one
One
starch.
starch, yes.
Yeah. And so, I
Yep.
mean, those days of 1 piece of bread, no, or half a piece, no,
Yes.
I get 2 slices of bread.
Yes, yes. And I'll put a little caveat on that. It's just because of the amount of calories that she was on, where the 45-calorie bread was a better choice for her, because she only has so many starches just because of how many calories she needed, which is very
Yeah.
specific for a person. But most people can have the regular slice and still
Mm-hmm.
accomplish the same thing. But in her case, she wanted to use, her starches wisely and get the
Mm-hmm.
most of them. And so
Yep.
that is a situation where when your calories are low overall, then that's
Mm-hmm.
when I would say, hey, yeah, let's go for the lighter bread. But when you have more calories to play with, then you can have the real deal. That's
Right.
where the customization comes in and the personalization comes in. So, and she
Absolutely.
nailed it.
Yeah.
So,
I know that I
yeah,
get more bang for my buck. I'm
exactly,
good.
exactly, exactly. Now, tell us about the portion controls and the cravings that you had struggles with in the past. So, and let's start with the portion control. So, what would you say your challenges were in regards to portion?
Well, I really didn't understand what the portions looked like.
Mhm.
And so, you had me to get the scales and use the measuring cups. And I mean, I keep them, they're still in the,
Mhm.
the
Me
rack in the kitchen. So all right, this is 4 ounces, or either this is a half a cup, and bring the cup to the table when we're doing the cereal. And it's not an inconvenience anymore. It's a habit.
Good.
And with Grover having a similar uh, eating plan, because he's male, of course, his is going to be, he's going to get to eat more. But he also has issues with blood pressure. And
Mhm.
so, because of that, and he's concerned about the sugar balance and all of
Mhm.
this. And so his is slightly different from mine, but we
Mhm.
still do the measuring. He keeps his little tablet on the table. I got mine over here. He's got his. I say, all right, now how much are you supposed to have? And so this is how we do.
Mhm.
And so he looks at what I do, but he doesn't mess with me, and I don't mess with him. I just say, here's your measuring cup. You do what you do, and it works. It
Yes, yes.
works.
I
And
treat them like spoons, the measuring cups
uh-huh.
and stuff. They're just like spoons
Yep.
you put in a pot.
Yep. And I that sit them right there in the sink. I have them available at all
That's
times.
good.
And whenever I decide to freelance, I find that
Exactly.
the scale will tell me back up, and
Mhm.
I do. And
Exactly.
the
That's how you do it.
cravings,
Yes, because you're gonna have your moments where you're gonna wanna, relax. And I encourage that. You wanna relax and that's
Yeah.
where the mindfulness comes in. So
Yeah.
because you're not always in a situation where you can weigh and measure and all that. I
Right.
like to encourage clients because I do the same thing. When you're at home, do it. OCD,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, do it. You're home and
Yeah.
guesswork when you're out of the house but then enjoy, and your body will tell you, when
Hmm.
you need to slow down. And like you said, the scale will tell you too.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is a
So
good
no,
thing.
back up, back up.
Yeah. And that's how she's been able to maintain, because it's been about a year and she
Year.
has maintained. And
Hmm.
we're going to talk about some of the challenges she had this past holidays, but even with those
Yeah.
challenges, she's still in line, and which is
Hmm.
amazing and wonderful. And that just shows how she's able to just subconsciously just put it all together and reel it all
Yeah.
back in. So let's talk more about the cravings. So let's talk about your
Okay.
cravings before and how are they now?
Well, I had cravings on a regular before, and I guess it was all the breads and the starches and stuff. It would make me want to have, especially chocolate and other sweet things.
Mhm.
Uh, I didn't think that my food choices was perpetuating the desire to eat stuff that's going to cause me more damage,
Okay.
but it did.
Okay.
While using all of the skills that Sandra has given me, I don't have the cravings. I am never hungry, and I don't have to have. Give me that piece of chocolate. Give me that piece of cake. I don't have. I decide. All right, I'm going to have a piece of cake, and I'm not going to have this.
Mhm.
Or it's not because my body is telling me you better give it to me,
Gotcha. I
and
understand. Perfect.
okay.
Yeah, that's great. It's because you want it, not because you
Yeah.
have control of the craving versus the craving
Right.
controlling you,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely,
which,
absolutely.
which makes all the difference. And hopefully you don't feel guilty. You see the piece
Nope.
of cake, you don't have to say, "Oh, I really want it," but no,
Mhm,
you can
mhm.
have it.
Yep. And then I know that if it's got a lot of icing and everything, I might cut it a little bit smaller so
Mhm.
that I can have that icing. Because I remember one time I was scooping all the icing off, and Sandra said, "Oh no, you can have your icing. You can have your icing." And one thing that I had done, because like I said, I like to bake. I started baking in the little small muffin pans,
Okay.
and so I could have that pecan muffin. I could have a couple pecan muffins as opposed to a
Mhm.
slice of something.
Yeah.
And there, when I do macaroni and cheese, like for the holidays and everything, that
Mhm.
that was something, because when I
Mhm.
went through it, I went through Thanksgiving and Christmas while on this eating plan,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, I got to have my dressing. I got to have my macaroni and cheese. How can I do this?" And she says,
Mhm.
"Well, you just find a way to have smaller portions, but just go ahead on and enjoy Thanksgiving,
Exactly.
keeping in mind, where you are and what you want to accomplish." And I made macaroni and cheese in those muffin tins.
Oh, okay.
And I did the same thing with the dressing so that
Great.
I'd have an idea of how much I had. I could enjoy it. And I've got a little circle over here and a little circle over there. And
So she took it to another level. Well, all right now.
so, nope. And then I had my little cranberry sauce to go with it. So I did not desire anything. And I had what I wanted. So that,
Good.
that was
That's what's
great.
key. That's what's key. And that's the big message I want people to hear, is that she had what she wanted. And if she
Hmm.
wanted to have more than one of those circles,
Yep.
she had it, you
Yep.
know? So
Because it really
absolutely.
wasn't that much. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
That
have
is
to
great.
trick myself, and most people have to trick themselves into believing that they have everything that they need.
Mhm. Mhm.
And like I said, when you start telling me to deprive myself, then that's when
Yeah.
I mess up.
Yeah, exactly. And I know everybody can relate to that. So if anybody has questions, comments, definitely chime in, because this is real talk. She is telling it like this is what we do, and this is how life really is. And I like for people to enjoy the holidays. I say it's really the day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, your birthday. The problem comes in is the leftovers and how we handle the leftovers. But the
Yeah.
day, I want you to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And you handled it because you didn't have any issues with, okay, now we got to lose 7 pounds because of Thanksgiving, and now we got to lose 7 pounds because of Christmas.
Yeah.
So you managed it all without taking a hit, and you still enjoyed yourself. And as long as you didn't feel like you missed out, then that was a success. So that was great. Yeah, that's great. Now you had touched on having to take naps. So you, and when we first started, you spoke about feeling sluggish throughout the day. You had your religious nap routine every day, and share how that process improved. And are you still a napper? You know, where how did that improve, and where are we now with that?
I don't have the need for a nap because I would come home from work and crawl in for an hour and then get up, fix dinner, do all the little stuff that I needed to do around the house. And I didn't have a choice. It was either take that nap or I'd never get anything accomplished. Now I don't have to do it. I have some days that are a little bit more strenuous than others, and I might take a nap because of that. It's not because I'm sluggish, not because, of anything in particular going on with my body, but I know that I have kind of overexerted and I need to rest.
Yes.
And in order to so that's not something that I have to do anymore. That's just something that I do. Again, like with the food. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I was looking at your weight trends, reviewing your weight trends, and constantly, I'm just going to let people know, when we started together, Miss Britton was 70. Okay, so I'm really, because I have many people who call me and, oh, I'm turning 40, and oh, I'm turning 35, and they feel like their metabolism is shot, and and they're getting older. So not now you hear me say, no, age is just a number, but now you have some living proof right here. Speaking
71 will be 72.
Yes. I think we kind of got caught up, but yes, she has a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks.
72.
72. So, and she has lost this 27 pounds, and she is maintaining it. So it is, I tell people, as long as you're breathing, you can lose weight. And so she constantly trended down over these 6-month periods of time. And she was a size 14 when we started. And she had spoke
tight one.
A tight 14. And she had spoke about issues with her knees and issues with mobility. And so let's talk about that struggle.
Okay. Well, the tight 14, as a matter of fact, it's the thought of going into a 16 was just not in my mindset. I just could not deal with that. So to go from the 14 to an 8 was, I was in heaven. Walk around with my label on the outside so you could see the number. I had made it to an 8 because I that's just not who I am. And to finally get and keep it this amount of time is just absolutely wonderful. I have people at church and the people at work and even complete strangers comment on it, and they see me every day and they still talk about it after all of this time. But that's nice, but I'm just really excited. My husband loves it. And I love getting the new clothes and with the new size. The knees are working fine. I can go up and down those 21 steps at work with ease. And it's not a choice where I'm going to go to the other end of the building and take the elevator. I don't mind doing those 21 steps up and down several times a day. And beside that, it's working on my buns of steel that I'm working on.
Yeah, right now.
So it's a plus. But I am just beside myself, still having accomplished this. And I mean, pray every day that the Lord just keep my mouth shut with those things that I should not be eating, and keep my eyes averted to the better things to eat.
Mhm.
And I'm good.
Yeah, you are. I remember one session, like several sessions we would have, and she's wearing her long sleeves, and then one session she had on a tank top, and she was just looking like $1,000,000. I was like, look at her. So she would not wear a sleeveless or anything like that in the past,
Mm,
and now
mm,
she has no problems doing that, and that's that confidence in
mm-hmm.
that you gain when you look in the mirror, you see yourself and you like what you see. And
See, yeah.
and that is the beauty of it all. And the fact
Mm-hmm.
that, and she has also proven that you can maintain it, and it's not hard and it's not treacherous, and you have your fun, you relax it,
Mm-hmm.
and you use the
Yeah.
sleep as your marker. When you get to that, what is your window for weight gain? I know for me, it's when it's creeping up to that 5 pounds, I'm like, let me reel it in. So
Mm-hmm.
what is your
Yeah.
window?
Okay. I had about, it was like 8 pounds and stuff. And then I said, oh no, I got to back up.
Mm-hmm.
And with this past Thanksgiving, Christmas time, I'm in different organizations and part of different groups. And this one's having a party and that one's having a party. I mean, they've had more parties this year than I know what to do with. And with that, as well as just the normal holidays themselves, it's pushed it. And so I am reeling it back in.
All right, that's
And
right.
because
Yeah.
all those parties are not your friend, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? It gets easier because this is probably the first set of a lot of parties since the
Yeah,
pandemic and all of that good
right.
stuff. So that really was kind of like your first test.
Yeah.
And I would say you did really good, because now the
Okay.
next time, because it is the
Mm-hmm.
next time, you're going to find
Yeah.
yourself, okay, now I'm going to be selective about what I have
Yeah.
at this party and that party. And maybe this party, I'm
Yeah.
just going to show up and not even
Mm-hmm.
indulge. And that happens with time. So that is really
Yeah.
good. But the fact that you reeled it in, you didn't beat yourself up, you didn't have a pity party and let
Mm-hmm.
it all go, because a lot of times we fall into that.
Yeah.
And now you are reeling it back in, and you have the tool set to do that. And that's what's key.
Absolutely. Yeah. And whereas before I didn't have that, because I had somebody else to measure my stuff, somebody, to
Yeah.
decide what I should eat. Now I make the decision. So I know what to put on my plate and what not to put on my plate. And I know that it works.
Amen.
So I
Amen.
don't have the frustration that I had before.
Yes. Yes. You're informed. I like to say you're informed. Yep, yep. I like to say you are now informed. You can make informed food choices. So on any given day, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna, eat XYZ, or oh, I'm gonna go out for a
Mhm.
burger, or oh, you have
Yeah.
you feel more confident in making those decisions and not feeling like, did I blow it? Or
Hmm.
am I okay? We always have those fears. And so that is great.
Right.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
let's talk about your sleep. So how was your
Okay.
sleep at the type 14, and how is your sleep now?
Okay. Well, my sleep, I've just been blessed. I don't have issues with sleep right
Good,
now, or even then.
good.
So the sleep part was fine,
Mhm,
and it's kind of maintained itself. So
mhm. Would
praise
you
the Lord,
say
I'm good.
would you say it's improved? Like you're sleeping, like waking up rested more, or would you say you were waking up
Well,
rested before?
I think I was I mean, I don't know why, but it's generally about the same.
Mhm.
I've
Good.
had some medical issue to come up in the last 6 months that's caused me to make more trips in the middle of the night. And so
Okay.
that's broken the sleep, but somehow I am able to lay my head down, and within minutes, not even minutes,
Mhm.
seconds, I am back to sleep.
That's good. That's good.
So other than that,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's good. And a lot of that has to do with, because you're nourishing your body too. You're giving your body what it needs. And so a
Uh-huh.
combination of that, and you are getting, at least 7 hours of sleep, that it all
Hmm.
works together. So,
Yeah.
and you're fueling yourself and you're not wanting those naps. So, but
Yeah.
the good thing is though, at night, you're ready to go to sleep versus you're
Yeah.
wired, you know, so
Yeah.
so it sounds like your wake sleep cycle is steady, which is a good thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
And how's your exercise? I know you was doing good with your exercise. How's that going?
Okay. I haven't been doing as well as I did before, but Grover keeps reminding me, come on, we're getting older. We got to do better and we got to do this. And so I'm getting back to it
Good.
more than I'm using the total gym because sitting around thinking, all right, what weight do I use for this? You just use your body with the total gym
Good.
and you do the lifts and you do because I had to work on my girls here.
Mhm.
These things as you get older, they fight you. They fight you. But
Yes.
I am going to win.
Yeah, and that's good because we fall, we get back up.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she's saying, "Hey, I'm not exercising as much, but I am keeping my eating intact, so my weight is still
Yeah.
intact, and so now I'm
Yeah.
gonna get back on the exercise." And that's ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
life. We're gonna sometimes we on it with everything, and sometimes some things
Hmm.
kind of fall, and so that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So a lot of people think that they have to do it alone, and I know I'm sure you and your husband went through that, and before we
Hmm.
met and
Hmm.
that we should be able to figure this thing out. We should.
Hmm.
But for sometimes it's hard. It's very difficult when you
Yeah.
can't understand like what is it that I'm not doing or what is it
Yeah.
that I needed to do. And so what
Yeah.
we know the frustration with the fad diet is kind of help
Mm.
prompted you and your husband to reach out for help. But was there any other things that prompted you to finally say, okay, enough is enough. Let's get help.
Hmm. Um, with working with you, it was just great because uh, we had periods that were set up in advance where we would meet and discuss different things and any issues that I had. I could, if it's an emergency, I could get in touch with you and you get back with me. But I had the schedule where we have steady talks and things that I didn't think I was doing right. You assured me and encouraged me to continue on, or if I'm having way too much bacon and thinking that this is not an issue. No, you shouldn't have it this many times a week. I said, all right, I'd scale back. But before I would really cause a disaster, you were able to guide me. And I wasn't there by myself. And you explained why I should do this or why I shouldn't do that. And I made the decision to
Yeah.
follow what it is that you said. And
Yes.
I didn't feel like I was going to be beat up because I didn't do something. Um, and the shame of it. No, this is what I did. Okay, now tell me how to fix it.
Mhm.
And you did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
And
very encouraging.
thank you. And those are good points because I share with people, you're going to have your highs, you're going to have your
Hmm.
lows. We're not perfect. That's why it's
Hmm.
not all or nothing. Give yourself grace. And I call
Hmm.
them teachable moments. If you remember, teachable moments, because when we do fall or when we do kind of, veer a little to the left too much, that's
Yeah.
how we get tested or we get tempted. And so, and
Yeah.
how we handle that, it gets better. It gets
Yeah.
better and better with practice. And
Hmm.
but you never gave up. It's like you took.
Mm-mm.
I gave you recommendations. I gave you, some guidelines, and you took it and you ran with it. You made it your own, and that
Yeah.
shows today. Almost a
Hmm.
year later, and you
Hmm.
still have those concepts, and you still have the things that have been ingrained in you, and it become a lifestyle. It's like you don't even
Yeah.
think about it as much, and so that's what the beauty of it is. And so, what would
Right.
you say? Some of the top things that we did together that you found most helpful?
Mm. I mean, there's so many of them. I don't. Oh my goodness. I think the holiday thing was the biggest because I just figured you're on a diet, macaroni and cheese and
Mhm,
dressing and all that stuff. That is not in the picture. And you showed me how it could be.
mhm,
So when I do have some things that are kind of high fat and high calorie, I can find a way to to work it into my system, whereas I don't feel deprived and I don't do something that's going to cause harm, or if it does cause a little, I'm able to back away after a while and do better. That's to me was the biggest of
Awesome.
all of them.
Awesome. And that transfers because, like you said, you got a birthday coming up. So I'm quite sure something's going to
Yeah.
go on there and
Uh-huh.
events. And so
Yeah.
it transfers. So that's good that you don't feel like you have to sit back and feel left out and feel like, oh, I can't really do this. And yeah, it's just a lot of times just compensation, and then
Yeah.
some days, being honest, some days we're just gonna overdo it.
Good. Yeah.
And that one day of overdoing it does not break the bank.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so
It
it
does.
happens. And we need
Yeah.
that. Honestly, our body sometimes just needs that.
Yeah.
And then we get back on.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So I mean, it's just amazing how you stay the course and you maximize your results, and it's paying off. And it's like, hey, it sounds like your husband's got to keep up with you. And how are you able to balance your work? You're working still, on your own terms, which is a beautiful thing. But still, this was something new, this change, and how did you balance that and not just revert back to what the norm?
Because of, as far as my work is concerned, because I don't look at it as work, it is something that I believe the Lord has called me to do, because I do more than just sell clothes and shoes. I can be, and I am, an encouragement to so many people, and they're an encouragement to me. I don't look at work the way most people do, the way I did when I had to make a living for those 36 years.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I want to. It's a wonderful cause. It makes a difference. There are people who have lost their last child, and they come there because they know somebody will pray with them. It's a place of encouragement, and it's not, I mean, people come there every day, and they might buy something, they might not, but they come every day because it's a family kind of thing, and because of that, I don't look at work as a chore.
Yeah.
As far as the eating, I bring my lunch at just the way that I always ate. I still eat. And before, they used to ask me, oh my goodness, is that enough to eat? And I said, yeah. And they don't see me as feeling deprived. There's an extra chicken wing over there, and they said, you want it? I said, give it here. And I will put aside the sandwich that I had, and I'll have that chicken wing. And so it really, I have been able to incorporate all of this. And it's just, like I say, it's a way of life. It is not just something I did for a certain period of time. This is me till the end.
Yeah.
So,
And so, you touched on something really well, because when you go to work, or even your family, they're seeing you changing. They're seeing you doing things in their mind. You're on a diet because you're not eating the same way. You're doing things differently, paying a little bit more attention. But they were watching you because I'm waiting for, oh, she's going to rebound. We'll give this a couple of weeks and she'll be back to what she was before. So did you kind of feel that, from them?
They would. I said, you're eating that? I said, yep. I said, give me that wing. And
no, you weren't supposed to eat that because you was on a diet.
I have my salad, and they see that it's not as restrictive as what they expect in a diet, in the diets that they're on or would be on. But because they're so restrictive, people have said, nope, not going to do it, not going to do it. I'm just going to eat the way I do, and I'm just going to die. But they see that they can eat like a normal person. You just have to be thoughtful in your choices.
Yeah.
And today I'm having that wing. Tomorrow I am back to, at least I had my salad anyway. But the low-cal bread, the low-cal meat, that I would have to have a sandwich and enjoy it. Throw my lettuce and tomatoes on there, and I'm good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's that balance. It's sometimes you got to have, we say wing or pizza or burger. Sometimes you have that stuff, and then that makes you more compliant and more desire to even want to say, okay, now I can go back to what I had because my day to day. So it's that 80-20 rule. So the wings, the burger, the pizza, that's that 20%. What you do 80% is really what's going to drive, your mood and your weight and everything. So that's good that you're comfortable with that balance, because sometimes it takes when you're in that dieting mindset, again, all or nothing. I can only have this salad, and I can only have and I gotta say, I gotta smell these wings, but I can't have any of them.
Right, that's not good. I have found that I do sliders. I find the slider bread, the buns, and when I get the ground meat and I mix it with turkey, and I get the higher of the lesser fat ground beef, and I make slider size
the burgers.
Yeah, and I freeze them, and so it's all set. And I got the buns that are smaller, so I'm still having a hamburger, but this little thing, it's smaller, but I still got my hamburger, And so you just find ways to adjust so that you can have what it is that you want.
Yes.
And so that's what I love about this.
Yes. And for her, the reason she did the sliders and the mini size, because again, she has a lower calorie amount she needs in order to lose weight and to maintain her weight. And so to not burn up, all of her starches and things of that nature, she can still have her burger, but a smaller amount. But someone who is, because maybe they're taller, they're younger, their body composition is different, they'll have more calories, and they can have the regular bun, and still have the lean or ground beef that she spoke about, and things of that nature. So you definitely can have a healthier burger, even cheeseburger. You use to reduce bad cheese and things of that nature. So there's ways to do it, and you don't even miss a beat. So so I just didn't want people to think, oh, everybody's got to get a slider or mini size. But for her, it works because her calories are lower, and so for somebody who has higher amount of because like her husband would have a regular burger, he would have a slider.
He has the big one, or either I'll get the big one and slice that thing in half, and I can have it another time. And so I've got the same burger, except just a smaller amount of it. And I don't feel deprived.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. And she has her, whatever veggies she's going to have with it. So you have other things to accompany that burger versus that alone. So she's having her veggies, she's maybe having her fruit, and everything else that she's accompanying with it. So that's how you make it packaged up. So exactly. So that's why she's not missing a beat. So it's a wonderful thing. So let's so if anybody has any questions or comments, just as a reminder, please go ahead and post that, and we will definitely look at those. And so I just want to kind of wrap things up and just ask Ms. Britton, do you have any words of wisdom for our listeners who are in the same situation that you were once in? They spending money on diets. There's a Activia is a new one that's out there that is quite expensive, and prepackaged foods. And so I think that's a new one that's on the horizon. But people are spending these monies on these diets. They're feeling stuck. They're feeling frustrated, and they're not understanding. Well, okay, for some people, if it's coming off, why can't it stay off? Some people are not even coming off anymore, so they've kind of plateaued. And so, what words of wisdom do you have?
No. I just know that I am truly grateful to God for you in our lives, because what it is that you've taught us is how we can live and don't have to wait for the next thing to come along, help me or help us to really take care of ourselves. We're in it for the long haul, whatever amount of time that is. And Sandra was saying about living to 100. Nope, don't want to be on that. I really won't be on that long, but the time I am around, I want to be, I I want to be healthy enough so that I can still enjoy my husband. We have a very active life. We do when we are ready to do. I have children. I have grandchildren. I even have a great grandson. So I'm good. I want to be around to be able to enjoy all of that and not have to be laid up somewhere because I can't stand for any length of time. I can't get on the floor and play with my great grandson. I can't chase him. I can't hop in a pool with him. I want to be able to do for as long as I can and as long as I take care of myself. And all of that has a lot to do with what it is that you put into your body. And I'm more thoughtful of that now, whereas before I just grab whatever, and that's not going to help me in the long haul. And so I'm in it to win it.
Oh man. Miss JoAnn Britton making 72 look like the new 52, honey. She is amazing. I want to thank you, Miss Britton, for taking time out. I really pray that you all listening in find this very inspiring and motivating. I mean, she motivates me. And most of all, that it gets you excited about, no longer feeling stuck, no longer losing, gaining that vicious cycle that we go through. Getting control of your cravings, knowing that you can have what you want to have and understanding how to do that. Just building those habits, those healthy habits that Ms. Britton spoke about. So I'm prayerful that you look at her, you listen to her, and she's she's all of us. So we've been, she's been there, done that. So she knows what she's talking about. So thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Britton. Thank you very much for taking time. And thank you all for tuning in with this segment of Up Close and Personal with my very, very special guest, Ms. JoAnn Britton. And continue to follow me. We'll be back live on the next week, same time, same handle. And I like for everybody to remember that keeping a positive mindset and speaking only positive self-talk goes a long way in cultivating and maintaining a healthy lifestyle and self-care habits that last for life. So everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Blessings to each of you and healthy regards. Bye-bye.